Hello, I am making this video to show how Minecraft can actually teach people stuff. So basically, maybe not the actual game, but with mods, which I am using a mod, 2 mods to be exact, plus their core components to actually let them work. I'm using Minechem for the actual learning experience with the chemistry and stuff, and I'm using thermal expansion for the power, because everything in this mod needs to be powered. So this, let's start off by saying this energy cell does not actually, you cannot get in survival mode. It is primarily a creative thing. It's infinite power basically. I do not know what's in here. Okay, there are blues in here. Okay, I'm just gonna have to put these guys get rid of those guys. Okay, I'm going to place down some torches so these guys can't spawn in my reactor again, because this mod is a tiny bit buggy with the fact that things can spawn inside areas. But they should be fine now. Let's make sure nothing's in here. Ooh. I didn't place that. Huh. Oh, there we go. Works again now. And they both work. Okay. So, we'll get to these later, but for now, we are going to talk about the main chemistry aspect of this game, and this mod. So, oops, my headphones. Thermal expansion not only adds energy though, but it also adds new ores like ferrous, lead, silver, tin, and copper. And then I've also got oak wood and oak saplings for this experiment. But what I'll be doing is I'll be turning these two into a water bucket. So, you're probably thinking, how the heck can you turn a piece of wood and some iron into a water bucket? Well, actually, it's quite simple. What you've got to do is decompose a single piece of iron. This will give you exactly 48 iron, or ferrous. Now this ferrous is a stable transitional metal, and it's solid. Yeah, and it's all that stuff. But if we look at a water bucket under the microscope, it says we need 16 ferrous like this and 16 water right there. Now, if you're thinking, well, there's water in the log, well, you're partly correct. There's no water in the actual log, but if you're thinking about what the log is made of, then yes, there is water in the actual log. See, when we decompose a log, we get cellulose, which is carbon 6, hydrogen 10, and oxygen 5, which basically means it has 6 pieces of carbon in it, and like 5 waters in it, basically. But basically, well, the simplest way to say this is, it's basically 5 things of H2OC, and 4 things of H2OC, and 1 thing of HCO2. So basically, we can decompose this as well and get a bunch of stuff out of it. So we can get carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen from it. Now, you probably have already figured this out and know what the heck I'm doing, but basically, if I open up this journal, I'm trying to make this water bucket, which needs water. And water, in real life, is just H2O, so H2O, water. So then what we can do is we can put this oxygen in here. So, yeah. There we go, that should be enough. And we can make 32 water. Now, what we really only need is 16 water, but who cares? We can make that much water anyway. Now we know how to make water, because we put our chemistry journal in there, and now look, we have these 2 recipes. Now, if we go ahead and take this and put 16 water into this, set up the recipe, and we, okay, what the heck, and we put all of our ferrous into this by putting 16 in each part, like this. Come on. This thing is a bit hard to work with, but there we go. And now we've got a water bucket. And we made that from a log and 1 piece of iron. Now, in the real game, what you'll need to do that is 3 pieces of iron and a water source. But we just used 1 piece of iron and a log. So, yeah. That's basically really cool, right? But that's not the only thing that's really cool about this mod. We've also got these reactors over here. Now I'm going to go over the fission reactor first, because it's what we pretty much need to go over first. But you see, we've got 16 hydrogen, and that's like, it's got 1 of everything basically. 1 nucleus, no, yeah, kind of 1. No, everything has 1 nucleus, but 1 neutron, 1 proton, and 1 electron. But the thing about this is, since it's got 1 of everything, it's completely useless in this machine. See, what this machine does is splits these atoms in half and creates something where, like, for instance, oxygen is 8. It would then, if you put 1 oxygen in there, like 1 oxygen, it makes 2 4s, which are berylliums. And then if we put that in there, we get helium. But then we can put the helium in there and get hydrogen. Now, that's pretty cool and all, but there's also this fusion reactor over here, which is even cooler. And the reason it's cooler is basically you can put 2 of the same element in there, or 2 of any element, and it'll combine them into the exact amount you need. So, if we put 2 hydrogens in there, we get a helium. If we put a helium and a beryllium in there, which is a 2 and a 4, you get a carbon. We can then go over here and turn that carbon into 2 lithiums. We can then come over here, put a lithium in there, combine it with a helium. Now we have boron. You can pretty much just mix and match all you want, which I think is really cool. So we can do that again. We'll get 2 borons. We can put those together. Get a neon. You can basically do anything with this stuff. Now we can also decompose this water and get more of this material, these materials we need. So let's go ahead and go into here. We're going to make the most radioactive substance known to man, which I believe is, like, that's in this mod, that is. I believe that would be Unutrium, which is 113. So what we're going to do to get that is we're going to go ahead and get a bunch of heliums, and then we're also going to get a bunch of, I believe, like silicones. Yeah, that works. Maybe combine those to make sulfur. Let's also, like, maybe, no, not break it in half, but combine that with 1 neon, maybe? Yeah, ferrous. Look at that. We made a ferrous. I'm just mixing and matching. I'm going to try and make it, but I'm not sure if I can make it. We can make a magnesium. And then from there we can cut this magnesium in half if we wanted, but what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna mix that magnesium with a ferrous to make a strontium or something. Something like that. We're gonna do that. Oh, you know what we can just do? Oh, I know how we are gonna do this. We're just gonna make all this into hydrogen. Like, we're gonna make a bunch of hydrogen. This is probably the easiest way you can do this, actually. And we're just gonna keep making that, making hydrogen. There we go, bunch of hydrogen. Put that in there. Okay, we're just gonna put a bunch of hydrogen in there, and we can just keep dragging it over like this, and it'll just keep adding up ones. We made tin, iodine, xenon. Just keeps going up and up. Cerium. Yep. And here we go. We got a radioactive one. Perithium. And if you put that in again, it's not radioactive. Now we're getting into the radioactive kinds of things. And as you can see, it's taking more and more power because it's such a high, it's turning into such a high number of atoms. Hafnium. Titanium or something. Tungsten. Rhenium. Osmium. Iridium. So I don't think this is going to be enough to actually do this. I think I'm going to actually quickly turn this to peaceful so no monsters spawn. Just going to put like a couple more of these cells on top so it recharges really fast. So now we can just keep doing this. And thallium. Ooh. Bismuth, hardly radioactive, which means it's going to take a long time to decompose. Now this is just plain radioactive, which means it's going to take a good amount to decompose, but not too much. Polonium. Now it's highly radioactive, astatine. Now it's just radioactive, radon. Now it's highly radioactive, which is that. Radium. Yeah, I can't wait until we find uranium. Here we go, uranium. Hardly radioactive, though. It's actually one of our least radioactive elements, I believe. We can just keep putting this up. And I believe we're almost there. Yep, all of this is highly radioactive now. Hasmium. Now we're getting into the really radioactive stuff. Extremely radioactive. Here we go. Udium. Now we've got the most radioactive substance in the game, and it will take 11 minutes and 50 seconds to decompose. But we don't want that. We want to keep this for a good amount of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a lead chest, which will keep it from decomposing. Well, not exactly. It'll slow it down, slow its decomposing down. You can also see we've got our uranium ore from the Minechem mod, which we can also decompose and get uranium. So yeah, but that's not what we want. Yeah. Like, so we'll go back to that in a second. Just 1 second. Okay, here we go. Wow. This might actually take a lot of energy. I'm just gonna cover the whole top. Yep, there we go. That works. And then we can just like throw this stuff into vanadium, and then we can turn that into sodium, and sodium into boron, and then boron into helium, and then helium into hydrogen. So we can basically turn one uranium into a bunch of hydrogen, or whatever we want. Now, this is not exactly the easiest thing to make, because like these blocks aren't the cheapest to make, but they're like not that hard to make if you're in creative. So, but like I don't see anyone doing this in survival very often, so I'm just saying. But this stuff isn't that hard to make, so you can still play around with this stuff, and eventually you'll be able to get to that stuff and make all sorts of other elements, and it's quite cool actually. So I think there's only one more thing we need to do. I think we need to decompose some of these new ores, see if the mods are actually compatible. There we go. Yep, they are. Copper turns into copper. Let's test silver, or tin actually. Yep, tin. Silver. Silver. There we go, good. Lead. Lead. And ferrous turns into nickel. Okay then. Chalks up nearby items. Oh, it's a magnet though. Got it, yeah. Also, you can place the stuff down, and that'll basically create like little things like this. And then you can also go into game mode 0 and suck it up and make a chemical bucket out of it. And you can place it back down. So I got the perfect idea. I just got the perfect idea. The most perfect idea ever. Oh, dang it. Can't place that down. If you could though, you could pull pranks on your friends where you basically just drop them in the most radioactive substance on Earth or Minecraftia or wherever. And yeah, I believe you can also make sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, there we go. Can you place that down? Yes, you can! Oh my. I get the feeling that's gonna hurt if I walk into it. That'd be cool if it just burnt my legs off or something. It's really annoying at the least. At the very least. You can, okay, apparently you can drink it too. So yeah, that's about all I have to really show you guys in Minechem. It's quite a cool mod, and you can definitely learn something from it. It's kind of how I got my passion for chemistry, so yeah, but that's about all. See you guys